Don't worry, silver will go to the moon. The silver price will go up massively from where we are right now. We will hit bumps in the road. What about 25% down? If we take the recent silver price of $35 per ounce and calculate what a 25% drawdown in price would be, we'd be at like $26.50, somewhere in that range. Could we survive? Would it be the end of the world? I have some data I'm going to share with you right now to prove to you that we will be okay. We will get higher silver prices, and what we're going through together as friends, part of the same tribe, however you want to think about it, my friends, basement dwellers, what we're going through right now is absolutely normal. Let's get right to it. Cut to the chase. I want to deliver some good news because you want to know that you're going to be okay. I want to know that we're going to be okay. We want to look at this not from a day-to-day emotional perspective, because the last week or so has been downright brutal for any precious metals investor. But when we look at it from a little further back with a different lens, let's put on our basement dweller smart silver investor lens and see what we find out. Let's go check this out because I found this to be absolutely fascinating. This is a chart from Gold Silver that shows silver corrections from 2009 to 2011. Now, the first thing that we need to realize as we look at this, and I want to make sure, there we are, you're on the right screen. The first thing we need to realize when we look at this is that during the period from 2009 through 2011, the silver price went from, hold on, I'm going to use the crayons here. This is going to get you feeling good, and you deserve it, right? Look, the silver price went from about $10 in January of 2009 all the way to $50 in what? April of 2011. So it wasn't that long of a period of time. The silver price went up 5x. But look what happened, guys, during that period. Look at all these corrections that occurred during that just 2-year period. Down 12%, down 13%, down 12%, right? But the silver price continued its steady march higher. So what we're going through right now with silver and gold, tomorrow I'm going to share the gold data with you. Don't you worry, my basement dweller friends, is absolutely normal. And what I found very, very fascinating on this chart was this period right here where, hold on, we're doing green today. Okay, where if we go over here and we circle these two numbers together, we had a 14% and a 12%, more than 25% combined. But if you look on this chart during that period of what, probably about 2 months, you can see the silver price right where my cross is went from about $16 probably down to $12, right? And you think, well, that's only $4. Yeah, but combined, guys, that decrease is like 25%. And we haven't even hit that yet. I mean, here, let's do the math real quickly. Behind the scenes, I'm going to take, let's go take a look at the silver price and do an update. Come on, silver, be green. We need you. Okay, up 4 cents. Hey, better than what we've had recently. $30.73. So we're going to take a $35 recent silver price and subtract, that was the recent high, $30.75. We're going to get $4.25 divided by 35. That's about 12%. Okay? Look, I can prove it to you. We've had about a 12% decrease in the silver price over what? The last 2 weeks. And I know, right? It feels horrible, but guys, right? This chart shows us in no uncertain terms that this is normal. And guess what? I got news for you, Buttercup. We're happy today. We're happy, optimistic. I got news for you, Buttercup. As silver goes from $30, where it is right now, and maybe it goes to $26, doesn't matter, as it goes from where we are now all the way up to numbers like $70 per ounce, $80 per ounce, $150 per ounce. There are going to be massive, massive pullbacks that happen during that process. The other critical thing for you to remember as we look at this chart, okay, is, yeah, This was a 25% decrease, but it only went from 16 down to maybe 12. Okay, so you think, oh, it only went down $4. Well, the higher the price gets, if we get up to $100 silver and we have a 15% correction, that would be a $15. It's going to seem like a much bigger number, but on a percentage basis, it really, really isn't. And just look at these other numbers. I mean, look, 14%. I mean, how do you think people that invested in silver were feeling here around March of 2010? I mean, I remember those periods. Oh, it's over, right? Silver had gone from 18. So, guys, the outlook for silver remains very, very optimistic. These pullbacks are normal. These pullbacks stink. Yeah, we don't use curse words here in the basement, do we, basement dwellers? We only use curse words when we're not talking to each other. Nonetheless, they stink, no doubt about it, but they're part of the process. Okay? They're part of the process, and the market is digesting so much right now. I'm going to repeat this again later. The market is number one. Think about this. We've had a massive upswing in the price of gold and silver over the last year. Okay, look, I can show you. Okay, look at this. Let's go to, here it is, silver. And let's look at 1 year very quickly. But the market is digesting all of this massive, massive bull run. Wow, look at that. We like that green chart of 15 cents. I like it. Don't you like it when it's green? I like it. I know. I'm kind of a game. I'll tell you my gambling story at some point. I have a crazy gambling story from 30 or 40, 30, gosh, 25 years ago, whatever. But look at this. Really just since March of this year, we had $22 silver. We're at $30 silver right now. So there's two key things to remember here. The market is digesting for both gold and silver a massive, an epic bull run over the last 6 months, 12 months, however you want to measure it. It's normal to have consolidations. And it's also digesting this massive black swan, shocking, and not a political statement at all. I get paid, we get paid to look at the gold and silver market, not a political show. But so as we look at this, like almost, I call it a black swan. It's an election that went on. Everything's being digested. As our friend Jake from Jake Custom Parts said in the comments a few weeks ago, we got to let the dust settle. I feel like maybe we're moving into the dust settling zone right now. Everything remains very, very optimistic for the silver price and gold price. What's Jesse Colombo have to say, right? Like the hottest new analyst in the silver and gold sector. Jesse Colombo says, here's my thoughts on silver. The banking cartel absolutely slammed silver back below that key $32 to $33 zone. I saw them do it in real time, and I documented it every step of the way, which he did. Here, we'll just click on this real quickly. Remember, this is the chart that Jesse put together, and I don't even know, it's not been updated as it, but these red circles are when the COMEX opened, like what, 10 out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it hasn't even been updated for the last few days. This is when right when the COMEX opened, and we had massive manipulation on the silver price as it went down. Now, hopefully I didn't lose it. Nope, I did not. So he saw him do it in real time. Despite that, Jesse says, silver is still in a confirmed uptrend and up nearly 40% this year. I'm waiting for another breakout attempt. For now, we just have to wait. Okay, and here we go. Here's the bad news, right? There's that $32 to $33 zone. We did break out of it, right? That was right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 attempts, at least 3 to break out. Guys, next time it goes, Katie, bar the door. Is that a common statement or just something my dad always says? Katie, bar the door. I'm sure there's some background on that one. Somebody can send me an email and let me know. So boo-hoo, silver broke through the downside on that. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. What about gold? Let's take a quick look at gold because that's just as fascinating. And when we look at this from bar chart, gold, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. No, No, I'm going to tell you the reason why for gold also. It's not the end of the world, and gold is the godfather of the precious metals. You know that. You know that. Gold has closed below its 50-day moving average. But each time this has happened over the last year, it represented a great buying opportunity. So all this technical stuff is great, right? No doubt about it. I love to look at it. I'm not considering myself a technical analyst, but it's not written in stone, because as we look here, that red line, hold on, that red line, or whatever that is, purplish colored line, whatever color you're seeing, the wavy line is the 50-day moving average. That measures the last 50-day average price of gold each day. And as you can see, it was going up and up and up and up because it moves. It's a moving average. Every day it recalculates the last 50 days. But guys, we broke below it back in February several times, right? We broke below it definitely just during the summer in June. We broke below it here in August, and now we broke below it again. It's not the end of the world. The critical thing to look at on this gold chart is just this. Let me get this out. We'll do red. We'll be quick. Is this, right? Anyone who looks at this, I mean, even my 7th grade twin daughters, if I said, do you think that price is going up strong or down strong? It's going up strong. It's going up strong, and it will absolutely continue. Let's go take a look at what's going on. Shanghai Ghost gave us some interesting news out of China regarding the gold and silver market, but particular silver. It says the Shanghai, and I only pronounce it that way because the price for silver on the Shanghai Gold Exchange is always much higher than what it is on the COMEX. I wonder why. Maybe Colombo, right? Investigator Colombo is on to something. Just maybe the COMEX and the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, those fine chaps, they've been manipulating the price of precious metals for even longer than you and I have been alive, right? Oriental Ghost, Shanghai Gold Exchange actively purchases physical gold and silver. The Shanghai Gold Exchange from local gold and silver sheet suppliers. Suppliers are selling their inventory for cash to avoid the risk of price drops. The centralization process of gold and silver is accelerating. This is coming from the streets of China. Okay? Here's the November 12th. That was last night. Market data for the Shanghai. I won't do that again. Gold Exchange and the Shanghai Futures Exchange. Here we go. Let's look at AG. That is silver. On the Shanghai Gold Exchange, closed at 32.50. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. And what he's telling us is, yeah, some people are selling. What's so critical, and this makes sense with what he's saying, is they're selling their physical back to the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Shanghai Gold Exchange, guys, here's a little secret for those of you who are new, is a physical market. It's an exchange like the COMEX here in the United States of America, right? And the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association in London, England. It's an exchange just like that. However, hold on here. Somebody's texting me. Oh, okay. Thank you. Dan, thank you for the super chat. I'll recognize that in 1 second. The big difference, remember that? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't sing. I'm going to lose subscribers. But remember that? I think it was Sesame Street. There was always that segment where there were like 4 things, and it said there was a song where they said, one of these kids is doing his own thing. One of these kids is being himself. That's the Shanghai Gold Exchange, right? They're doing it a little different. They're a physical market. You cannot trade silver or gold on the Shanghai Gold Exchange without owning the physical metal. So when we look at this price on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, why is that price $32.50 US dollars? You know what? I haven't done this for a while. US dollars. Okay? $32.50 to buy physical silver on the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Then why? Let's go out here. Let's go out here to our friends at Pimbex, channel sponsor, and press the Pimbex magic button, and silver's down 2 cents. That's okay. It's going to be green by the end of this live stream. You watch. Guys, buy silver, please. Look, $30.68. Why is it so much lower here? And that works to your benefit if you're in the United States. You are spoiled. You are spoiled. Didn't your mommy ever tell you that? We are spoiled, guys, because, look, that's an artificially low price on silver, okay? If you want to buy silver, gold, platinum group metals, you're in the United States, you got it good, right? I would recommend you check out this website we're on right now and channel sponsor Pimbex. What they give you are ultra competitive prices. What they give you is a great selection. Last we checked, I was talking to CoinShop Chris last night, and he's like, there's a lot of places that don't have constitutional silver right now, but Pimbex has a lot. We were looking at prices. They're ultra competitive. Right? They have great selection, great prices, great selection. And the number one most important thing, right? Not that you're helping support them or Ron's Basement. No, that it's a company that you can develop a relationship with. You can call there during the week, talk to the brothers, Mike or Brian, the owners, their CPAs. They are wonderful, good, trustworthy people. In my opinion, you need to find that out for yourself. But it is paramount that wherever you buy your metal from, it's from a company you can trust. And I feel 100% confident because you have given me unbelievable positive feedback that Pimbex is, oh no, there we go, is a company that we can trust. Okay, are we here? Here we are. Can you guys see me? Hey, I can see you. Thank you for being here. You are the most important part. Yes, you, YouTube. They didn't call it RonTube for a reason. They called it YouTube, right? You're a basement dweller. You're part of the tribe, part of the clan, part of the group. You belong here. You're always welcome here. We love to talk about silver and gold. Look, if you want to get content like almost every day, I just can't seem to stop connecting with you guys because it's so much fun. You can subscribe to the channel, become a part of our group, leave comments in the comment section, super chat, super thanks are always super appreciated. Don't forget, give this a thumbs up. And I almost forgot, Dan the man, Dan W, for moral, emotional support for Ron and Susie. Oh, thank you. And yes, thank you to the moderators. I appreciate you, Dan, giving us that super chat. I also appreciate you bringing up the moderators, Jake from Jake's Custom Parts, the one and only Annie Oakley, and Big Tim the Silver Shire, and of course Silver Susie. We all love her. We got a lot more to talk about, guys. We're only like 10% through this page, right? I do put work into putting this together. There's a scientific approach to what we're talking about, and it has to do with the silver price getting to $80 per ounce and the gold price $3,200. Okay, Shanghai Ghost, we did that. Oh my gosh, this is getting sickening. If you're a silver and gold investor, the amount of paper, unicorn fart dust, make believe, whatever you want to call it, silver. I really appreciate this guy, the dude who's putting this out every day. This was yesterday's data. The silver market traded 489 million paper, a papel, I think that's how you say it in Spanish, ounces yesterday. What does that make you feel? Okay, why is this a big deal? I'm going to tell you why. The COMEX, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the key meat that we want to look at, almost 500 million ounces of paper silver traded yesterday. And then there's all the data he goes through. Honestly, I don't know how to read most of that. One of these days I will. Maybe Chris Marcus from Arcadia Economics will teach me. But nonetheless, 500 million ounces. So I'm going to highlight that. Paper ounces yesterday. Okay. Market, that's just, anyway, you get the point. 500 million paper ounces. And this was posted today. So this was yesterday. Now, guys, this is crazy to even fathom as a silver investor. Okay. And it's weird stuff like this is going on in the gold market as well. But if you just think about what's gone on the last 4 days in the silver market. Okay. Yesterday was Monday, 500 million ounces traded. Friday of last week, 500 million ounces traded. Thursday of last week, 500 million, not ounces. We're not talking about the Shanghai Gold Exchange. No, we're talking about the COMEX. Okay. 3 days, the last 3 days, 500 million ounces. But wait, there's more, because on Wednesday of last week, there were almost 700 million ounces of silver. Now, if my math is correct, doing that in my head, that's 2.2 billion ounces of silver. Paper, make believe. Like not this, not that. See that? Not that. Not real silver. No. Paper silver. Here, let me show you what paper silver. I'm gonna. This is breaking news. I'm gonna show you what the silver looks like that they're trading. This. There it is. 2.2 million ounces of really literally this traded on the COMEX over the last 4 days. This, not this. There's a difference. This. Let's see if I can get it to shine for you. Come on, shine, baby. Well, anyway, you get the point, right? This versus this. 2.2 million ounces. This is the Shanghai Gold Exchange. This is the COMEX. Well, there's 400 of these, and I'm not going to write that out 400 times. You can visualize. Here, hold on. 400X, right? This is the COMEX, right? Leverage on 400, 200, 100. You get the point, okay? This is the Shanghai Gold Exchange. This is the COMEX, all right? And in the last 4 days, I'm shaking. I'm getting so upset. They traded 2.2 million ounces of this unicorn. Oh, look at, oh, there it is. It's looking for its friend Bitcoin. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Or Dogecoin. We're going to talk about that later. I'm not anti-crypto, crypto bros and sisters. Okay. We're all on the same team, but I couldn't resist. 2.2, that's almost 3 times the entire world's mining output. 3 times in 4 days. Does that make sense? Does that maybe that alone is definitive proof that the silver price is manipulated. And as we know from prior court prosecutions and jail terms being handed out to former JP Morgan traders, that does indeed happen. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay. Now, like a sailboat. This is what I wrote. I'm going to read this to you. So hold on here. Like a sailboat whose tailwind has temporarily died down. Okay, that's what we're going through right now in the precious metals markets. Remember what we looked at earlier, that chart of silver, 12, 14, 15. When silver ran to $50, there were like 25 times when the gosh darn silver price corrected. One time in like a matter of a month, it went down 25%. So right now we're on the silver and gold lifeboat together. It's a sailboat, right? We've had a great tailwind for the last 6 months. The tailwind has died down. Maybe it went from 15, 20 miles per hour down to 5, 3, whatever the case may be, but it didn't reverse. That's the key thing for us to remember. And right now, guys, the silver and gold market are digesting 2 big key things, right? This massive run up that we've had and the situation that's gone on with President Trump being reelected as our next president. Right now, let's talk about Trump because the dust is starting to settle. But okay, he very well may spur some big gains in our economy, but it's going to be done with stimulus. Okay, but the fact is this, and I'm not. You probably can tell how I lean politically, and we probably agree. Okay, I'll say that. But we got to be objective when we look at Trump, and he is a spender. Okay. He added significantly to the deficit the last time that he was president. Okay. And we weren't even anywhere near as close of a precarious situation as we are now. Let's run out and do our daily field trip to the U.S. debt clock because we are approaching the panic zone. We are almost to $36 trillion in national debt. President Trump added significantly to this. I've heard people say that pre-COVID, pre-C19, he'd already added like $1 trillion or $2 trillion to it. That was last time, and we were in much better financial shape at that point. So to think that he's suddenly going to see the light and fix that, it's not going anywhere. But I know this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's go over here to the dollar to silver ratio, which never seems to disappoint. they're going to have to, somebody call the people at the U.S. debt clock and say they're going to have to make a bigger box real soon for this number, because the dollar to silver ratio is now topping out at 986. Yes, that means for each of these, hold on, 986. Okay, where is it? Right? Hold on. You got to see this to believe it. You got to see this. For each of these, right, that is being produced right now, this year, for each one of those, 986 of these are being printed right before our very eyes. Okay, right before our very eyes, right? Not this, no, that's COMEX silver. No, this 986. So let's go out and quickly. And again, President Trump is not going to be able to fix that. President Trump. Wait, I want to point out some critical things for us to remember about how Trump will impact the price of silver and gold as we head into the next now 4 years. Okay, because I think it's going to be an absolute beautiful time period to be an investor in silver, gold, and precious metal mining stocks. But before we do that, let's head out here to the spreadsheet. 986. It just continues to go up, right? Remember, guys, we started this on the 21st. It's not even been a month, and we've gone from 730 paper dollars being printed, now almost approaching 1,000. I'm not saying that the price of silver should be $1,000 per ounce. I'm saying it should be 3,000. No, but that is a very interesting ratio comparison to look at that just demonstrates to us how money is still being printed. Now, warning, all right, I got to warn you about something. That dollar to silver ratio may start to draw down a little bit, okay, because those tricky guys in Washington, they were printing a lot of money leading up to the election to try to juice the economy. I've got that on good word from one of my best advisors. So be prepared that we might see a bit of a drawdown in that, but I don't really think so. I think once Trump hits the ground, it's going to be we are off to the races. Okay, the only tool, and this is why it's so critical to realize, you want to know how gold and silver are going to do during a Trump administration? Really, the only tool he's got, even if Elon Musk eliminates $1 trillion like he's saying in government waste, we still got a major deficit. And the only tool, because the horse is out of the barn at this point, that Trump has to do anything is a printing press. And he'll use it, right? He will rack up debt. And I'm going to prove to you why that's the case. Again, not a political statement. Just I get paid to talk about silver and gold and how big changes in the world will affect it. And I'm going to tell you why, as a silver and gold investor, you can be very optimistic. Okay. And the other thing, think about this. Have you heard any material, any real discussion, from Trump or anybody, right, about the national debt, in dealing with the debt and eliminating the debt, eliminating the deficit? Have you heard anything? Let's have a drink of coffee. No, we have not. And if we look at Trump's background as a president and a businessman, we don't see anything that ever appears even remotely to look like austerity, tightening, tight budgeting. Austerity is a fancy way to say like cutting expenses or trimming the fat or anything like that. We've never, ever seen that in his past. As a matter of fact, I think it's interesting to look back at what happened with his casinos in Atlantic City, and it's very similar to what the country's facing right now, what our current situation is in the country. We're just going to briefly look at this article from Yahoo Finance. Donald Trump owned several Atlantic City casinos that went bankrupt, right? And there's that story about his daddy showing up and, I don't know, buying millions of dollars worth of casino chips to inject money into the casinos. That's not the point of this, but he had major financial troubles with Atlantic City casinos. And this sums it up here, guys. Okay. Trump's challenge, and think about this through the lens of what's happening in our country right now in silver and gold, because it totally relates. Trump's challenges in the casino industry were not just external. The internal financial structure of his ventures. Think about the U.S. debt clock, the internal financial structure of the United States right now. Particularly the Taj Mahal was fraught with risk. Now, I highlighted this in red and even expanded the text for you. I go to no ends. Heavily reliant on debt. Think about the U.S. debt clock. Here, you just don't have to think about it. Ba-goink. Ba-goink. This is not the Taj Mahal. That's the U.S. national debt clock. Heavily reliant on debt, these establishments faced immense pressure to generate substantial revenue. Financial analysts like Mark Hofberg of the Wall Street Journal predicted early on that the seasonal fluctuations in tourism would severely impact these casinos' ability to cover their operation costs and debt payments. And they went bankrupt, okay? Again, I'll say it 3 times during every live stream. I'm not making a political statement about Donald Trump. I'm stating a fact. He has a history of being a big spender, racking up debt, and bankruptcy. And when you look at what's going on and apply what happened with those casinos to what's going on now with our entire country, there's no reason as a silver and gold investor for you to think that he wants a weak dollar. Okay? He wants a weak dollar. He said that in the past, right? And as the dollar adjusts, as the dust settles, okay, it is going to be a very good situation for silver and gold. And what does Peter Schiff has to say about this? All right, he says, during the first three years of Trump's presidency before C-19, with Republicans controlling both houses of Congress during the first 2, government spending rose by almost 13%, while the budget deficits rose by 50%. Given how much higher interest rates are now and how much greater the proposed tax cuts are, think about that, guys. Interest rates are higher. The national debt is higher. And the proposed tax cuts, talking about getting rid of taxes on everything, veterans, Social Security, tips, all these grandiose promises, the growth rate in both spending and deficits is likely to be much greater during his second term. However, the icing on top, unlike during his first term, a sovereign debt and dollar crisis may define his second term. So, look, I'll give anybody a chance. We'll give them a chance, but we got to look at the reality of what's going on. And we're looking at it through people who want to protect. You want to protect your assets. That's why you've bought silver. That's why you've bought gold. And I think when we look at this from a big picture perspective, there's nothing more to think than the fact that the dollar will go down in value and the value of your silver and gold will go uppity, uppity, uppity. Now, let's go out and do a quick check on the silver and gold price. I promised you that we'd get it green, and we're not green yet, but silver's at 0.00. Hey, I also want to say thank you, not just to you for being here today. That's number one, most important. But these live streams are also made possible from our other sponsors, Fortuna Mining. They're an operating mining company. Here's their website with operations in Latin America and West Africa, an exciting company. They just put out great third quarter earnings. You can learn all about them here on their website. And First Mining Gold, right? And these are all stocks that I own personally. I'm not giving financial advice. Do your own due diligence. Stocks are risky. Everything in life is risky. Mining stocks are probably a little riskier than average, but they also do offer the opportunity for great capital appreciation. First Mining Gold has 2 multi-million ounce development stage gold projects in Canada. Okay, you can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. They got a lot of gold in the ground in Canada. And hey, while we're here, you know what? I got to remind you guys, do you want to win something? Huh? On December 30th, we're doing a giveaway of one of these, the DirtyMan SAFE. That's the Dirty Girl, which I think they're sold out of right now. And remember, this is a safe that you bury in your yard. You get to have buried treasure in your yard. Let me show you quickly how this works. It comes with this, a big tube. See if you can see that. You dig a hole, you put this tube in the hole, you then fill your DirtyMan SAFE with whatever you want to put in it. I'm not going to ask you any personal questions. This one, just for fun, I put a unicorn in there. Okay. This thing is awesome. You know, it's like guaranteed for 50 years. I was so impressed when I got it, but you dig the hole, put this in there, drop this down into the hole. Okay. And then there's this cool handle. I mean, it's very high quality. And then when it's in the hole, you put this, slide that wire up through there. It's down in there. All right. Put this on top and then cover it with dirt. And then you, all right, just like the pirates of old, get to have your very own buried treasure in your backyard with the DirtyMan SAFE. The other thing I want to say, there it is, and there's a 10% off code with Ron10, is I didn't think about this, like a safe in your house. I don't keep any material amount of silver at the house or anything like that, but if you have like a safe, that's kind of like a target for thieves, right? And if it's buried in the ground in your yard and only you know where it is, well, the other benefit is it's protected from flood, fire, all that good stuff as well. So anyway, thank you to all our sponsors. Now, let's talk about our friend silver and why I'm telling you, silver and gold are in good shape. But our good friend from Ireland, Pierce, sent me a piece last night that I can't help but share with you guys. Pierce is a very intelligent guy. He sends some great information our way. He said, hey, Ron, my late father, Richard, taught me an old Latin maxim, okay, at a very young age in relation to business principles and money. And this applies to the silver market. We're going to learn some Latin, but this has everything to do with skyrocketing silver prices. Trust me on this one, okay? Trust me. Let me make sure we got you. We do. Nemo quad non habet. That's harder to say than the Shanghai Gold Exchange, okay? As it will apply to the future value of silver given current fundamentals, okay? Now, what does that mean? This is the part in red. That Latin phrase, nemo quad non habet, translates to no one can give what they do not have, okay? No one can give what they do not have. It's a legal principle that states that a person cannot transfer ownership of goods or property to someone else if they don't have adequate ownership of those goods or property. It's a fundamental principle that protects a true owner of an asset and prevents the trafficking of stolen or illegally obtained goods. For example, okay, if somebody steals a car and sells it to another person, the buyer does not, legally own the car, even if they were unaware that it was stolen. Okay, now, what Pierce is saying is important. Future mined supply of silver will never be as high as it is now, and total demand for silver will never be as low as it is now. So the supply will never again be as high in silver as it is now. Okay, and on top of that, okay, the demand will never be as low as it is now. Think about that, guys. That's what we're heading into in the silver market. And think about what goes on with the COMEX and the LBMA. Aren't they doing exactly what this Latin legal phrase indicates? They're basically selling silver and selling gold. Paper, where'd my paper silver go? Here it is. I don't know how this happened. They're selling this without true ownership. And on top of that, have you heard of naked shorting? Naked shorting means when someone sells silver or sells gold that they don't even own, right? They're shorting it. They're thinking they can buy it back later, but the silver they're selling, they don't even own. That has everything to do with where we're going to be heading in the silver, because on top of that, right? I mean, I think from the perspective of that wise old Latin saying that our friend Pierce, right, our lucky leprechaun friend in Ireland, Limerick, Ireland, sent us, right, on top of all of that the silver that's being sold, all of it at the COMEX and the LBMA does not exist. But wait, there's more, right? There's even more, and that is that the fundamental, like he said, we will never again, think about this, we will never again, most likely, and I believe this is my truth, and I believe it to be the absolute truth, but I could be wrong. You may disagree with me. We will never again, during our lifetimes, see silver supplies, right? The amount of silver that's sitting above ground, as high as they are now, it will only continue to shrink because the world is consuming much more silver than is being produced. And on top of that, there's even more. We will never see demand numbers as low as they are right now. Very likely the demand for silver will continue to increase. Silver is second only to oil in terms of its industrial applications in the world. Let that sink in. Could we say that silver, like oil, transformed the world over the last 100 years? No argument, right? Is silver the next commodity to transform the world over the next 100 years? I want you to think about things like solar panels, right? A poor man in India, put yourself in his shoes. He's never had electricity, right? He's never had a cell phone, right? Now he can buy a couple solar panels, put it on top of his little house, right? Right there. Doesn't need to hook onto a grid. He can plug in his new cell phone, might even buy an air conditioner, might even buy a little refrigerator, some light bulbs, right? Silver is transforming the world right in front of your and my very eyes for the benefit of humanity. We're even humanitarians, right? Think about it. The demand for silver. Think about the new solid state electric batteries being made by Samsung. Have you heard of Samsung? Samsung. We're not talking about some company we never heard of, right? Each one of those new batteries, which will charge significantly faster, which are much safer, much lighter. The list of benefits goes on compared to the current batteries that are being used in EVs, right? They'll go twice as far, 600 miles instead of 300 miles. They have 30 or so ounces of silver each in them, transforming the world. Silver, transforming the world. Think about artificial intelligence, not the kind of intelligence you and I have. That is far superior, but artificial intelligence. All the demand for silver for microchips, it's happening right in front of our very eyes, right in front, all in an environment where we know factually, it's an absolute fact that the amount of silver being produced every year is going down. All of that in an environment where this unicorn fart dust, make-believe fairyland, dollars land, woo, here it is, right, is being printed into oblivion. Does it make sense? It makes sense. It makes absolute sense. What's going on right now, right? Doesn't make sense on many levels to many of us. I understand that, right? The dust is settling. Silver and gold always win. Silver and gold have always won. Think about that. We're not talking about the last 15 years, like with Bitcoin and crypto. We're talking about the last 1,500 years, 100 times longer. Right? Actually, probably more like 200 or 300 times longer that silver and gold have always won. Right now, if you're an investor in silver and gold, yes, it's been difficult. Okay. Suck it up. I'm saying that to me, not you. It's been difficult. Yes. And it's going to be hard. And you know why it's going to be hard? Because we are in the final battle between silver and gold and this, right? It's a cage match right now. Between this, and this, okay? In this cage match, who are you going to bet on? Do you want to bet on this to win? Do you think this is going to win? I want you to think about something with this. This has only been around for what, a couple hundred years at most? It's only been really the fiat paper version of it for 50 years. And we know what's happened during those 50 years. When you compare it to gold, this has lost 98% of its value, period. Okay. All right. This has held its value. And the other important thing to remember is that silver and gold have been in this fight with fiat money hundreds of times, and they've won. It'd be like if you went to the horse track. Okay. You ever go to the horse track? I spent a lot of time at the track when I was in college. And you get the program and you look at a race, and there's one horse in that race that's won every single race for the last 20 races it's been in, and won by a long shot. Okay, that's what silver and gold have done relative to fiat money. Silver and gold have beat they beat England, okay? They beat Spain. They beat the Dutch when they ruled the world. They beat them. Bye-bye. They beat the British when they ruled the world. Bye-bye. Silver and gold beat them. Beat them good. They beat the Roman Empire when they decided to deface their real money. They've won every single time. And now there's Bitcoin. Okay. Look, again, we're brothers. We all believe, I don't know, I mean, hopefully we can all live together in coexistence, but silver and gold have always won. We got 200 likes. You know what? We haven't done this for a few weeks. 200 thumbs up. Let's ring the bell. Thank you. We're in good shape. You're in good shape. I'm in good shape. Okay. I know it can be bumpy. Let's go out and check on the silver and gold price. Can we deliver? Let's check. Here we are at Pimbex. We're going to press. That's the Pimbex magic button. You guys can go to their website and do it yourself. We're going to tickle the triangle here and down 13 cents. Gold down $20. We are still letting the dust settle. It's going to be interesting. Thanks for joining me today. You are the most important part of the basement. Please don't forget, give this a thumbs up. That helps get the word out to more and more people. And the more and more people that learn about silver and gold, right? Number one, it feels good to help people. Number two, that'll make the price of silver and gold go higher and higher, which, in the big picture is not a bad thing. We like that. So thank you. Okay. Thanks to the moderators. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Thank you, Don, for the